Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome once again to Army Public School PMA Resource Network. Before we start our today's subject science, don't forget to subscribe this page and click on bell icon so that you can receive our upcoming videos well in time. In our today's subject science, we are going to discuss topic the periodic table. This lesson is the combination of week 9 and week 10. So the topics related to week 9 are the periodic table, what are ions, combining atoms and valency. Learning objectives. To introduce the periodic table as a way of classifying elements. To understand the atomic number and mass number of an atom. To explain how the structure of atoms change logically in the periodic table. To explain what an ion is, including cations and anions. To describe how can compounds form. First of all, student, we will discuss about the periodic table and its parts. So what is the periodic table? The periodic table is a chart of the elements arranged into rows and columns according to their physical and chemical properties. Parts of table. There are two parts, periods and groups. Each horizontal row of element is called period. The elements in a period are not alike properties. The first element in each period is active solid. Groups. Elements with similar properties are arranged in vertical columns are called groups. Elements in each group have similar but not identical properties. In a group, all elements have same valence electrons. Look at the table. In this table, there are 7 periods which are horizontally arranged. In the first period, there are only 2 elements, that hydrogen and helium, and other one have different elements. Similarly, there are 8 groups in the periodic table. The first group is starting with hydrogen also, and second group is start with beryllium. So in this way, there are 8 total groups which are arranged in this periodic table. Dear students, now let's see electron arrangement in the atom. As you know that electrons are continuously moving around the nucleus, and the path where these electrons are continuously moving is known as the shell, energy level, or orbits. So there are different energy level, shell or orbit in different atoms. These energy levels or shell have specific names. The first shell, which is close to the nucleus, is known as K shell. It can hold a maximum of 2 electrons. The second shell is known as L shell, and this shell can hold a maximum of 8 electrons. Similarly, the third energy level is known as M shell, and it can hold a maximum of 18 electrons, but it builds up to 8. And the next one is the N shell, which can also hold a maximum number of 18 electrons. Students, be remember, a full outer shell of 8 electrons is a very stable arrangement. And the elements with 1 electron or with 1 space in their outer shell are very reactive. So, this arrangement of electrons play important role for the combination of different atoms. Now we discuss groups. The similar properties of elements are arranged in vertical column, which are known as groups. There are 8 groups are present in the periodic table. These groups have their specific or we can say common names. The group 1 is also known as alkali metal. The group 2 is called alkaline earth metal. Group 3 also called boron family. Group 4 is known as carbon family. Similarly, group 5 is known as nitrogen family. Group 6 is also represent oxygen family. Group 7 is called halogens, and group 8 is also called noble gases. Let's see the properties of elements in different groups. First of all, group 1, which is also called alkali metals. The elements in this group have different physical and chemical properties. Like they contain all metal which are very reactive. These are reactive because they have 1 electron in their outer shell. Outer shell is also known as valence shell. They are soft and can be cut with knife. For example, sodium are soft and can be cut with a knife, but sodium can react violently with water. When it reacts with water, it makes sodium hydroxide, which is an alkali. Potassium is also a member of alkali metal. Look at the elements of groups: alkali metal, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, and francic. In this slide, we discuss about the properties of group 7 and group 8. First of all, group 7, which is also known as halogen. They are non-metal colored gases and very poisonous. They have 7 electrons in their outer shell and only have to gain 1 more electron to fill their outer shell. That's why these elements including in this group 7. The examples of halogens are chlorine, bromine, iodine. Now the properties of group 8. which is also called noble gases. The elements of group 8 are non-reactive and colored gases. Their outer electron arrangement, electron shell, is completely filled. The example of noble gases are helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, and radon. These are the elements which are included in group 8. What are ions? An ion is defined as an atom or molecule that has gained or lost one or more of its valence electrons, giving it a net positive or negative electrical charge, are known as ions. There are two types of ions, cation and anion. When neutral atoms lose electrons, they are known as cation, and when a neutral atom gains electrons, known as anion. Here are two examples of ions. One is sodium atom. When sodium atom lose electron, it forms cation, means sodium ion. On the other side, fluorine atom, when gain electron, it become anion and called fluoride ion. In this way, different atoms change into their ions. Today's homework. This homework is related to week 9. Following videos will help the students in understanding the concepts of periodic table. But students, you must watch these videos under complete parental supervision. Written work. Written work has to be done after reading and understanding the topic. Test yourself. From page 40, question number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. These questions are short questions related to the topic, the periodic table. Then test yourself on page 42. Question number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Short questions related to the topics combining atoms and valency. And then question number 5 and 6 from exercise. Topics related to week 10 are chemical bonds, ionic bonding and covalent bonding. Learning objective. Recognize that chemical bond results from the attractions between atoms in a compound. Define the types of chemical bonding and explain with examples. Explain the formation of ionic compounds. Describe how a covalent bond is formed. Let's see how chemical bonds form. Students, as you know, when two or more elements combine together, they form a compound. And now, what is chemical bond? Chemical bonds are forces that hold atoms together to make compounds. So, types of bonding. There are two types of bonding present in different compounds. One is ionic bonding and second one is covalent bonding. When electrons transfer, between the atoms completely. This type of bonding is known as ionic bonding. And when atoms in a compound share their electrons, they form covalent bonding. Ionic bonding. Ionic bonding is the complete transfer of valence electrons between atoms. In ionic bonds, the metal loses electrons to become a positively charged cation, whereas the non-metal accepts those electrons to become a negatively charged anion. For example, sodium and chloride atoms combine together, chemically react to each other and form ionic bond. In this case, sodium atom loses an electron and chlorine atom gains an electron. The sodium atom becomes a positive ion cation and chlorine atom become a negative ion anion. When sodium and chlorine atom combine to each other, they produce sodium chloride atom. Similarly, when magnesium and oxygen combine together, they also produce ionic bond. In this case, magnesium atom loses 2 electrons and positive magnesium ion forms, while oxygen atom gains 2 electrons and become negative oxide ion. These two atoms form ionic bond and produce magnesium oxide compound. Did you know ionic bonds are very strong, high melting and boiling points because these atoms totally transfer their electron from one atom to another atom and second atom gain totally electron from first atom. Student, let's see covalent bonding. A chemical bond that involves the sharing of electron pairs between atoms is called covalent bonding. The examples of molecules of covalent bonding are water and chlorine. Covalent bond can show with a single line drawn between the atoms. Look at the molecule of water and chlorine. First of all, in the case of water molecule, 2 atoms of hydrogen share their single electron with the oxygen atom. The oxygen atom required 2 electrons to complete its outer shell. So, water molecule form covalent bond and they share their electron with each other. In the other diagram, we have seen the structure of chlorine atom. Chlorine atom required 1 electron to complete its outer shell. So, both chlorine atoms share their outer electron and form covalent bond. Success criteria. Remember the following important points about the periodic table. Each element has a unique atomic number. To relate transfer of electrons to formation of an ionic bond between atoms. Non-metallic atoms form negative ions. Alkali metals sort and react violently in water. Halogen gases are very reactive and are colored and poisonous. Noble gases do not react. Each group number in the table represents its valency number. Covalent compounds have low boiling and melting point. This homework is related to week 10. You can take on these hyperlinks to see videos so that your concepts would be cleared. But students, you must watch these videos under complete parental supervision. Written work has to be done after reading and understanding the topics. Test yourself on page 44, question number 1, 2, 3 and 5, short questions related to the topic ionic bonding. Then test yourself on page 47, question number 2, 4 and 5, short questions related to the topic covalent bonding. Question 1 and 2 from exercise, which is about MCQs and true false. And in the last, question number 6, 7 and 8 from exercise. These questions related to chemical bonding. This was all about my lecture. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.